go get them again.
Welcome back to the Robes Away channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Jacques Bogart. Now, I haven't spoken about this brand at all on my channel. I'm a noob, and it is a brand that I've seen kicking around in our fragrance community. This is a brand that a lot of enthusiasts in the cheapie aisle will discuss on their channels, but not only that, but true seasoned veterans in the fragrance game absolutely really do, and vintage hunters kind of go into this brand a bit, and it's nice to see those two play along in the sandbox together. It's actually pretty nice that they have this brand that they can come together and talk about and discuss. Usually certain sections of the fragrance community don't play nice. So this one called Bogart pour Homme. And this is a newer release from the brand. It is a 2004 release, or a release that's been in the 2000s, but my vintage heads will discuss, you know, has it been reformulated, and some of the earlier releases. For me, Jacques Bogart as a brand, I've heard about it, I've seen it. Not readily available as far as retail section goes. I don't recall seeing any of these in a store. My American friends can help me, Macy's, things like that. I don't think so. It was more like a bargain bin kind of discounters kind of brand. But it's had its spotlight within our fragrance community. I think our fragrance community really gave a spotlight to this brand. And a part of me is actually kind of excited because those vintage hunters and the true fragrance heads have a lot of good things to say about this particular brand, and they're cheapies. So I'm excited about that. I'm always open to vintages and smelling them, and cheapies too. This is not a niche channel. So this one right here, I'm looking forward to it. I don't have to unbox it. Obviously, it's part of the Fragflex return haul. That's why there's a dent into it. That's not me. That was a previous owner. I could see that there was leakage in the atomizer here, which is built in, but there is some pieces here that I'm seeing that has a little bit of damage on it. So we'll see if this atomizer actually works. I should start doing that. Like, I haven't had, knock on wood, on glass, knock on wood, I haven't had any. I think I had one issue that I tried to shoot a video of this Fragflex, and it was in a box and everything, and I opened it up and it was disgusting. I was like, I'm not doing a video on that. So unfortunately, they're not all built like that. So we'll see if this one works. If it's published and you're seeing me, you know it works. Now, before we get into that, have you subscribed yet? Have you? Please subscribe. Hit that like button. I'm much appreciated, especially a fragrance like this. I feel a brand like this, it doesn't hurt. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown on this one. And the note breakdown looks like there's quite a bit going on here. There's a lot of florals in the mid, and the back end has some greens, some woods, and some obviously some sweet notes here. Tonka bean is in there, and lavender and bergamot in the top. And first things first, when I looked at this, first of all, I looked at the bottle, I looked at the brand, and I'm like, this is older than 2004. Apparently not. Like, if you would have gave me this bottle, and this is what happened at Fragflex Hall, I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, an oldie. No, not a 90s, not an 80s fragrance. This is a 2000s fragrance, so I'm looking forward to that. But the nose behind this is what really intrigued me, is Maurice Roussel, Monsieur Lavender. And you have to put a Mr. in front of his name to respect Monsieur Roussel. He's an all-star perfumier that doesn't get as many flowers as he used to. When I was a baby on the YouTube platforms, Roussel was up there with the Elenas and all that, and everybody was really talking about Roussel as being an all-star perfumier. Now it's the next generation, I understand, but yeah, Maurice Roussel is a wizard with lavender. He can make it smell like multiple things, so I can't wait to see what he did with this one. I got my strip here, so we'll put it on strip first. And then, of course, we're going to put it on skin. And yes, I'm wearing a hoodie. It's probably been a while since you've seen me in a hoodie. Folks, I'm just letting you know, if you don't know, I live in Canada. And fall is coming. And yes, so let's hold on together. The cold is coming around. Now let's get into Bogart pour Homme, the built-in atomizer. I kind of like this bottle. It's kind of funny. Oh, we got a little bit of dribble. Oh, yeah, because it was leaking a little bit. So I'm not going to give the atomizers. It's actually not a bad atomizer for a built-in atomizer. I'm not going to dock at any points. I know that it's a leaky bottle. This is a cheapie anyway. And I'm a much more, oh, sweet lavender. Ah, Roussel, are you going to go Rocha Man on me? Are you going to go New Harlem on me? Michael Jordan legend with your lavender note? Yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Yeah, that's sweet. Oh, there's a little bit of spice to it. So, yeah, cheapie. So I'm a little more lenient with cheapies in regards to a lot of things, you know, versus paying 20 bucks versus paying $2,000 on a fragrance. I should be a little more lenient on the $20 fragrance. Now, this smells 100% the Roussel. So if you're used to Roussel fragrances, and I just name dropped a few there, Michael Jordan Legend is probably the closest thing to being a cheapie in the same kind of realm. However, not as sweet or juvenile, but the lavender is there doing its, it smells like a Roussel late 90s, early 2000s release. That vanillic lavender combo that I know so well. It has that syrupy aspect that the lavender does. Think New Harlem, think Rocha Man, think Michael Jordan Legend. You're gonna see a little bits and pieces here, but not as, a little more mature because it has, I'm anticipating here there's some spice, and there's no spice in the note breakdown. No, I don't see any spice there, but there's a warmth to this fragrance. And the Roussel does that with a lot of his fragrances. And you're thinking, you know, I'm almost thinking Musc Ravageur-ish in a way. Not clove. I think there's anise in here, anise seed, because it gives me a little bit of a black licorice hue. Lavender does that trick as well. So it could be a Roussel lavender extravaganza here that's giving you that almost kind of spicy, darkened, warm lavender combo with some sweetness. A lot more of the, you know, when I'm talking about New Harlem, Rocha Man, and Michael Jordan Legend, very sweet fragrances, and you know, New Harlem's at the totem pole of that, very syrupy. This is not that. There is some sweetness, however, it's very much engulfed by this. I feel like it's anise. I might be wrong though. Like almost like black licorice, like almost it has this sweet spicy combo going through. Herbal. Okay, so there's some patchouli in here as well, right? Yeah, patchouli, okay. Okay, lavender, patchouli, a little bit of muskiness, vanillic sweetness, and a little spice that kind of makes it smell not older than what it really is, but it thinks, like I'm thinking, like even the bottle kind of looks like something from the late 90s. It feels like that generation before, let's say, the Spice Bombs. It's like that, like it's before that. And, oh, you know what? It smells a little bit like Naxos by Xerjoff, that pure Havane-like DNA. So that sweetness has a, how can I explain this? Like it has a little bit of a red hue. I wouldn't say any fruit, like not raspberry, not strawberry. Some people say cherry. Tonka bean will give out a cherry. I don't think it's from that. It could be. Rose kind of gives out it can be a jammy rose that has that strawberry. So could be a little bit of that with the tonka bean cherry kind of going through that gives me like a little bit of a red vibe with the lavender. So, but not as sweet, like not an, you know, Mont Blanc individuel kind of way. It's close though, it's there, but it has a lot more warmth to it. So I feel like Pure Havane mixed, because Pure Havane is, I don't want to say a little more generic, but synthetic tobacco kind of cherry kind of vibe. I don't think it's completely like that, but it's meeting a Roussel lavender that's kind of bashing the head out of it. That's where I'm going with this. A little bit of that patchouli from, of course, Roussel's signature patchouli. A little bit of cedar, a little bit of musk here. Tonka bean heavy, yes. Man, this is pretty good for the price that you're paying. This is actually excellent for, and and I'm trying to remember the last time I went in the cheapie aisle, like bargain bin aisle, like under $30 type of fragrances, and they're getting rarer and rarer because of the designer realm now. Even, I'm not saying used, but discounters, right? I remember a day when a designer fragrance at the high end, Canadian here, big bottles of something would go like 120, like brand new, 120, 110, Canadian, okay? And then it would start creeping down at discounters the more time it had, depending on the brand, right? Jean Paul Gaultier would go down to like 75 bucks for a smaller bottle, perhaps, something like that. But you had a big portion of designer fragrances that were under $100, like 190, 80, 70, and then you just trickle down to, depending on the brand, 50, 40, 30, and there was tons of those kind of fragrances. Now, not so more. It's going into more of a, there's a big gap there. So Bogart pour Homme, sorry, the French version of it. Very good. Very good first impression. Smells more expensive than it is. It is. This could be, and you know, this is, you could find this probably 20 bucks at a bargain bin. Gladly, I would pay almost 3 times that, like $60. It would be at that range. Like if you don't have the budget to buy like something, I would say like just things that are discontinued. Obviously, Pure Havana is discontinued. It's gonna be like 200 bucks. That's like niche pricing. That's ridiculous. Naxos, of course, in that family. I'm trying to think like something maybe like warming, like Spice Bomb, still too expensive for somebody. This is, instead of going to the clone route, this would be something that would be actually pretty decent to get. You'd have to like the Roussel lavender, like anybody that smelled the Roussel lavender. And some people dislike that lavender. I love it. I don't think I've ever met a Roussel lavender fragrance that I actually disliked. I feel like he does quite good with it, and he does it right here. It's getting a lot more tonka heavy the more it's on skin now. So I'm getting a lot of that vanillic, and it's not a top end vanilla, you know, don't get it twisted, but it has a little bit of a powdery aspect as well. Almost kind of going barber shoppy a little bit. Approved by me. Excellent cheapie. You know, and I know it's a first impression. I just wore it like 5 minutes in. What's the back end going to give me, right? Performance and things like that. I hear good performance on this one, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, approved by me. Bogart pour Homme by Jacques Bogart, a brand that, shame on me, I haven't smelt hardly anything from the brand, if any. On the channel, this is the first. But I'll keep an eye out for other Bogarts, and this is a brand that it would be like a throw-in a mega haul. So I might throw in a couple in my mega hauls and just try out the brand a little bit more, because this is quality. This is not bad. And for somebody on a budget, you know, bargain bin, if you see one of these, all the discounters probably carry this. This is pretty good for 20, 25, 30, maybe on the high end, 30 bucks. Yeah. Yeah, so you can find this one at fragflex.com like I did, and you can use my code TFG10. You get 10% off anything site-wide, including this. Obviously, 10% of $20 isn't going to be much, but it's a good throw-in if you're buying something a little more expensive, especially the cooler months are coming in. This is a good cheapie in that realm. Really good. Now that you heard my take, I'm actually really looking forward to the comment section. I'm sure a lot of you have smelt this fragrance. I can't wait to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? No need to co-sign, no need to bash me if you don't like it. But, you know, either side of the coin, I absolutely love it. But personally, for me, a good cheapie. And as always, a great import fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching YouTube. Have a good one.